Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is day number 16 of my 2023 December Advent Calendar. For today's build, I'm going to be showing you how to make this awesome little blacksmith, which is truly disguising an incredibly awesome lava farm on the inside. Now, the lava farm is pretty much just a piston feed tape that is set up with some redstone. You activate it with a button on the outside, and above every single cauldron, there is lava above dripstone, above pointed dripstone to actually farm you the lava. Now outside there are 5 cauldrons set up in a little blacksmithing area. And when you click this button here, it actually cycles through the cauldrons, bringing out fresh lava. So as a practical and decorative use, this is good. So say I walk over here, I need lava, I got my empty buckets, I grab 3 cauldrons of lava, and now before I leave, I can just press this button to cycle through my cauldrons until all the empty cauldrons are now hidden, and then I can go ahead and leave with my lava, and those brand new empty cauldrons will get cycled back inside to get refilled with lava. Now this farm has 23 cauldrons, so assuming that every single one is full, that is 23 buckets of lava. Outside there are a bunch of barrels for storage. There's this nice canopy, which is where you would actually go to use the farm. There is no interior to this, it is just a facade to hide the redstone and the dripstone for the farm. It is just really fun to stand here and click the button and watch those cauldrons get sucked in and then filtered around. Anyways, I'm sure you guys want to see how to actually build this farm, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the tutorial for this one, shall we? Alright everybody, so the first thing we're going to do when it comes to constructing up our little lava farm here is dig a decently sized hole in the ground to hold a good amount of our redstone. This hole is 2 blocks deep. On the main section here, it is a 5 by 13, and then over here we've got a little jut out, ignoring 2 blocks on either side here, so that ends up being a 2 by 9 extension to our hole. And this is just for one little strip of redstone that we're going to end up covering with grass later. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and start laying down some of our redstone. So to do this, we're going to start putting down the blocks that our redstone is going to go on. So I'm going to be using yellow wool, and I'm going to start at the front of our building, which is going to be this spot here. So just put blocks as I'm placing them. So here I'm going to have a block up. This is going to be holding a piston. 2 blocks down. Then going to the right by 3, we're going to put 1 here in the middle of those 3, 1 here, and then 1 in this wall. We can go ahead and remove this grass block. Now from the edge here, we can go over by 2 more, and then we can go ahead and put in another one on the wall, removing a grass block. Now we can come all the way back over to here. We're going to go all the way over until the end of this little jut out here, to which we're going to go over by 1, 2, and 3 more blocks. Put 1 up. Now we can go right 1, 2, 3, and 4 blocks. And we can go this way 2 blocks, and they got to be up a layer from the floor ones we're putting in, just like this. Now, out of the one in the back here, we can go all the way down 4 more blocks. Then we can take blocks all the way across to the right. Now, on the far right side of our jet out, we're going to put in 1 in the floor and then 1 up. And then skipping a block to the left, we are then going to go ahead and put in 2, and then 1, and then finally 1 up in this corner here. This is the basic layout that all of our redstone is going to end up laying on for this project. Now we can go ahead and start putting in some of the actual redstone components. Firstly, we're going to have a redstone torch on this block here. Then we're going to go ahead and run down 2 redstone dust, and then we're going to go all the way down this strip here, and all the way up until 1 block into the back of this, where we're going to add a repeater with 0 tick delays. Now we're also going to add a repeater here on 4 tick delay. So if we're looking at it like this, that repeater went here, 4 ticks on the delay. That leaves us these 2 blocks here. We're going to put redstone dust here, and then a repeater here on a 3 tick delay. Now we're going to put a redstone torch on the end of this block in the middle and go over by 3 redstone dust. And we're going to put 2 redstone dust on top of these elevated blocks here. Coming out the back of this block, we're going to do 2 redstone dust and then 1 redstone repeater on 4 ticks. Take your redstone dust and come all the way down until this block here, where we're going to add another redstone repeater on a 2-tick delay. Then we're going to do a redstone dust here, and another redstone repeater right here on 4-tick delay. Finally, we can put 2 redstone dusts on these 2 blocks, and then 1 redstone repeater here on a 3-tick delay. Now we can go ahead and put in some torches that will be activating our pistons. So on top of this block here, put a redstone dust. This is going to be where our button sits to actually activate the whole system. And then on top of these 4 blocks, so these 2 in the upper corners, and then back here in these back 2 corners, all need a redstone torch above them. And this block here, you can go ahead and ignore. Actually, go ahead and grab some grass, and we can just fill in this strip. And then we can go ahead and take another strip right here, completely covering off this little section, so that you are left with just this. Now we can go ahead and start putting in some of our cauldrons. So for starters, let's go ahead and put up a basic frame for our building. To do this, we're going to put a stripped spruce log in each one of these corners right here, just like this. Then we're going to go in by 3 blocks from each of those, just like this. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 over, and then put 1 here. So you end up with a log in this place. And then we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 blocks gap right here and put in another log. And you're going to end up with a structure looking just like this so far. We can go ahead and take our stone bricks, and we're just going to fill in between our logs, just start putting in some walls. We're going to skip this block right here. That is going to be where our piston goes, so we can put our first piston in right here. We're going to have another piston in right here going this way. In the back here, we're going to have another piston sitting on top of this redstone torch. And then this one, we're going to have a solid block above that torch, and the piston facing this way next to that block. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish putting in the blocks for our walls. We are leaving a 5-block gap right here because this is going to be where our lava actually gets collected. And then we can go ahead and fill in our back wall here with some stone brick, just finish it off. Now we can go ahead and start placing in a bunch of our cauldrons. Now to place in our cauldrons, what we're going to do is we're going to do from this piston head here all the way down, so that we're covering this one too. And then we can go ahead and remove the one from this piston face. Now we can go all the way down to this one, leaving a block gap. Then we can start going down this way, making sure to leave a block gap in front of all of these pistons except for this one. That way when it pushes, there's now a cauldron in front of that one, and it actually pushes and makes a working piston feed tape. Now let's go ahead and add in some of our sticky pistons. So we're going to need to put in 5 sticky pistons right there, just like this, in this opening. And then we're going to have 5 more sticky pistons, just like that. But before we put in those second row of 5 sticky pistons, let's put in some temporary blocks here. And then go ahead and put in some observers facing upwards. So you're going to need 5 observers, all facing upwards. You can go ahead and remove those temporary blocks. And then you can put in those secondary lines of 5 pistons, put your cauldrons back in, and what you're going to have is 10 sticky pistons in 2 rows of 5, and then these observers facing upwards. Now we can go ahead and put a row of 5 solid blocks on top of those 5 pistons, and then 5 solid blocks on top of these 5 cauldrons here. And then in order to actually power all this, we can put a solid block right here next to this strip of redstone here. We're going to put a redstone torch on top of that, and then a solid block on top of that, with redstone dust on top of that solid block there. Then we're going to go ahead and run redstone dust all the way across these 10 solid blocks there. And we're going to put redstone repeaters all on 1 tick facing this way on top of every single one of those observer faces. Finally, we're going to go ahead and put a solid block right here with a repeater on that 1 tick delay facing the opposite way of all the others. And we're going to finally put in 1 solid block right there. We can also go ahead and put in the button that is going to power everything. So right here on this first block to the right hand side is where we're going to go ahead and place in our button. And if you click this button, all of your pistons should end up moving, assuming you actually put in all your timings correctly and have all of your cauldrons in the right place. So making sure that you have 1 cauldron in front of this piston, none there, none there, none there. and there's a cauldron in every single other block. When we push this, you're going to see the cauldrons move around, and you're going to actually get a feed tape. And to show that this is actually moving a block, if I just put a solid block in there instead of a cauldron, when I click this button, and if I keep clicking it, you're going to see that block is going to continue to get moved around the system. Alright, so before we go ahead and get in our dripstone, let's go ahead and finish off the next layer. So let's finish off this layer here. To do that, I'm just going to take up all of our pillars up by one more block, and then I'm going to fill in with stone brick all the way around in the places where we already had stone brick laid. And then for convenience, inside here, I'm going to put 2 ladders right there. And then I'm going to grab a spruce door and place it in right here for easy access to our redstone. There will be no actual interior to this build. It will all be outside in this area. The inside is just the redstone and the lava farm. Now we can go ahead and put in our dripstone. So for starters, we're going to put in 1 dripstone block in front of this repeater. And when you do that, you should see your 5 cauldrons come out by 2 blocks and end up right here. Now we're going to go ahead and take our dripstone, putting it above every single cauldron. So we're going to go ahead and run this all the way around the building, making sure that 1 is on top of each and every cauldron, except for these 5 outside of the building. Now I'm going to go ahead and take up the outside walls, including the pillars and the stone brick, up by 1 more layer. And when you're filling in this layer, you can go ahead and fill in these 2 spots with the stone brick, because we are all done here and there's no need to leave these exposed anymore. Now when you click the button, your cauldrons will go all the way in, and then they will pop back out after cycling. Unfortunately, there is a bug in Bedrock Edition where you can randomly get teleported when pistons extend. And unfortunately, I'm now going to have to go find my way back to the build. To anybody who's thinking there might be a command block that I set up to teleport me away, I assure you that is not the case. It is an actual bug that can occur. It is incredibly annoying and stupid, the fact that it even exists, but there is a small chance that with pistons just extending and retracting, you can get teleported all the way back to like world spawn area. And I think it depends on your world, but yeah, you'll randomly get teleported. So for the sake of my sanity in the future, I'm going to go ahead and copy these coordinates. Alright, so for this next layer, I'm going to take up all of our logs once again, and then I'm going to go ahead and start putting in stone brick all the way around the build once again. So you'll now notice that there's a layer of blocks around your dripstone in most spots, and in the locations where there is not a block covering it, we're going to go ahead and install a solid block to cover it. Now, I'm using glass. You can use stone or something. Does not matter what you use. All that matters is the block that you use cannot be able to get set on fire. Otherwise, you are just asking for your entire build to burn down. But once you have all these blocks in these locations, you can go ahead and put in your lava. You need a lava source on top of every single one of these dripstone blocks. And then we can go down, and on top of every single Oh no. Did I break a glass block? No. Okay, when I tested this in my testing world, everything was fine, but if you have issues with things lighting on fire, go ahead and switch out some of the blocks that you put redstone on to stone or something that cannot get lit on fire. When I built this up in my testing world, I had no issues, but as you did just see there was a fire, and I don't know what that was about. But everything else looks to be good, so we're just going to carry on. So now you go ahead and grab pointed dripstone. And what you need to do with your pointed dripstone is put 1 hanging down from every single one of your dripstone blocks. This is what's actually going to start filling your cauldrons. Without these, you won't actually farm any lava. And then once you have all of those in place, lava should start filling into your cauldrons. And I see it completely burned away this entire section of the redstone. So maybe we have to replace this with a non-burnable block. We'll see. If it sets on fire, then I'll change it. But if not, we'll be fine. It should be fine. Like I said, I did test this. Now for our next layer, let's go ahead and get this done real quick. Cover all of your lava sources with a block that cannot get set on fire, to even further reduce the chances of there being fire in your build. And then we can go ahead and finish off the layer below that. So for the finishing of the layer below that, let's go ahead and grab out some spruce stairs and some spruce slabs. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to run spruce stairs all the way around this layer of the build, and this is going to be the bottom layer of our roof. Now, do not do it on the shorter sides because we are going to do an A-frame, meaning that we're going to have to go ahead and place some slabs. We go ahead and put in stairs like this on each side, and then run 5 slabs all the way across the build. Do it on the back side as well, and this will be the base for our A-frame. Now, do not worry about this section here. We can actually go ahead and remove these 5 blocks. And if you're building this log here is not supposed to have a 6 block gap. It is supposed to have a 5 block gap, so it is the same as our hoppers. And then we can go ahead and remove these 2 stairs. And I meant to say cauldrons there, not hoppers. But this is going to be the little thing we have here. Here we're going to build a kind of canopy looping over, so we aren't going to worry about that at all right now. We will come back to that later. For now, let's go ahead and finish off the roof. Now, to finish off the roof, we're going to go ahead and take some dark oak stairs. We're going to run these all the way across, just like this, and then we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Now, we are going to go ahead and use spruce stairs on the outside here. For our actual A-frame, it's going to be like a lining, so we're going to use the dark oak on the inside and spruce on the outside. It looks pretty cool, so we're just going to go ahead and set that up like so. And then we use some oak planks on the inside as a siding on the upstairs part of the build. We can go ahead and finish with our spruce stairs. Go ahead and take these all the way up until you reach a point like this. Here we're going to put in one upside down spruce stair. And then we're going to run spruce slabs across the top of our build and set up the exact same thing on the opposite side. Now we're just going to take our dark oak stairs and we're going to fill in the entirety of the rest of our roof. And I am placing all kinds of upside down stairs. Do not do that. So there's one side of our build now done, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill in the other. So once you have the other side of your roof all filled in, that is your main structure now done. Now we're going to go ahead and build this little canopy here and add some nice decorations to the outside of our build, because like I said, this is where the majority of your time will be spent when using this farm. The inside is simply just a storage container to hide all of the redstone and dripstone. Alright, so the first thing we're going to want to do for our canopy is we're going to go ahead and just kind of add the blocks going all the way over. Now to do this, I've used spruce trapdoors on this end of the build here, and we can run these all the way down and across. They're kind of tricky to get placing, but we can place these all in here. And then I use spruce stairs in this section right here. Run these all the way down as well. You get some nice shape right there. Now once you have all these stairs in, we're going to go ahead and run 2 slabs out on the outsides like this, and then go up and over, so you end up with a shape just like this. In the middle here, we can run this all the way across, and then I like to use some trapdoors in this location to just kind of make the slope a little bit nicer. Then we can take our slabs, fill in the middle section, and we can fill in this spot as well. Now after these, I like to do another layer of stairs. We can go ahead and fill these in. And then to finish it off, we just go ahead and do 2 solid blocks of spruce planks. Making sure to fill all of that in right there. And you got yourself a nice canopy. And then finally, off of here, I like to do another layer of the trapdoors. Again, just kind of easing into the slope a bit better. And it ends up looking pretty nice. Now, we don't just end it there. I've got nice decorations to go under here as well. For starters, to hide this piston, we do a little pile of barrels. Just kind of hide some things away. I like to put the end barrel there. We just kind of stack some things up, make that work nicely. I like to go ahead and take a bunch of chorus dirt and just kind of fill in the area, make it look worn and rough. You can try and mix in some normal dirt if you want, but that usually doesn't work because the grass will just overtake it and it will grow back. You could try some podzol or something if you want, maybe some brown wool, but I usually just do the coarse dirt. I think it looks nice. Then we do 3 anvils over here to add in that extra decoration, like I'm actually working on stuff. Out the back here, I do another little pile of barrels. Make it look like I'm really storing some stuff. I do another little pile of barrels here as well. Not a giant pile this time, though. And then finally, I like to do some nice stockpile of the raw ore. So I'll mix in some raw copper, some raw gold, nice raw iron, and just really pack the stuff in. Make it all look like it's being stored and used. This way it looks like I'm actually building stuff when I'm working over here at the blacksmith. And then once you've got all that in, I'm sure there's more you could do if you actually want to, but I usually end it here. If you really wanted to though, you can go ahead and add in like item frames and things to hold stuff. But as a final note, I do recommend that you go ahead and add in some lanterns of sort. Not exactly required though, because the lava cauldrons do end up giving off some light. Now let's go ahead and see if the cauldrons inside have filled up at all. No, they have not. If we go ahead and speed up the game tick speed, I can go ahead and show you them filling up in real time. Well, not real time, it's sped up by 1000%, but these will all fill up real quick now because the game has been super sped up. And then what you'll notice is that all of these out here on the outside are still not filled up. And I'm going to go ahead and set the tick speed back. And now it's very simple. You need some lava, you click the button, your cauldrons go in and they get cycled. You get teleported because the game is stupid. And it ends up cycling one back. Now what I have noticed, to not get teleported, if you stand up by one block, it will go through the whole thing and you don't get teleported. And now you can click this until you cycle through all 5 cauldrons. And there you go. You've now got 5 fresh cauldrons of lava. And say that I go in here with a bucket because I need some lava. I can come in here, I can grab some lava that I needed. I've now got my lava, I'm good to go. I can cycle these cauldrons back. And now I've got fresh lava, and those empty cauldrons are going to get filled with new fresh lava while I go off and use these 2 buckets of lava for whatever I need them for. So that is going to be it for the farm today. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Like I said, it's a pretty compact and nifty little design. I'm pretty proud of it myself. I think it's a really fun concept, and there's not really all that much to it. Also, it's just a lot of fun to click the button and watch the cauldrons move around. But if you have enjoyed, maybe consider smashing that subscribe button. This has been day number 16 of my 2023 December Advent Calendar, and maybe you should pop back in tomorrow and take a look at what we're doing for day number 17. Anyways, this has been Mr. Gaming Aquatic, and I'll see you guys next time. Happy holidays!